I was working with an entrepreneur on his pitch deck, and one of the slides, it said strategic plan for the next 5 years. So I asked, oh, is this slide more strategy or more plan? And there was silence. He was like, well, I guess it's more of a plan, but then we're going towards this direction. So yeah, strategic plan. And that's what everyone says. So then I asked, what's strategic about this plan? There was a few more, well, yeah, I guess it's more of a plan. Okay, so we moved on. A few pages later, I see this again. This time it's paradigm shift. So I ask, which paradigm are we coming out from and where are we going? Well, there's some technology factors. I wrote down, a few behavioral changes in our customers. Yeah, I just thought it sounded kind of nice. This is my number one problem with people recommending learn vocabulary to articulate your thoughts. It is not about the vocabulary. You don't need more words. You need more concepts. Strategy as a concept will bring so much more depth, so much more clarity to what you're saying. Let me give you an example. Everything is strategic these days, right? Whether it's a plan, whether it's a document, whether it's your ideas, everything is strategic. I worked in strategy consulting, so I know. But there is a difference with using it as a decorative word, right? Just saying strategic plan instead of plan, right? Sounds better. Yes, fine. But if you're watching this channel, we don't do things just on the surface. What we want to do is see this strategy as a concept. What do I mean by that? What is a strategy? A strategy is a decision-making framework. It's a decision-making framework that helps you create your competitive advantage, help you position yourself so you have that competitive advantage. When you talk about strategy, at least there are two main parts. You got to think about the decision-making framework. You got to think about the competitive advantage. So when your boss says, let's make a strategic plan for next year, everyone else will hear, plan, right? Strategy is just this buzzword, nice to have, but whatever. You will hear something different, right? You know what the plan needs. The plan needs to have a decision-making framework guiding it, and it needs to create a competitive advantage. Imagine if you said, okay, great, these are the two things we need to focus on. We need to get clear on first. Imagine how much time you're going to save, how much respect you're going to get from everyone who look at you like, whoa, you really know what strategy means. And if you've been paying attention, you'll notice how powerful this small shift really is. Because we talked about strategy as a concept, and it breaks down into this decision-making framework and competitive advantage. And what are those? Those are also concepts, right? So if you break down then, what is decision-making? It's about making choices based on different sets of trade-offs, right? All of a sudden you understand, okay, we got to focus on what are we really making choices based on, and what are the trade-offs, right? Very clear. These are your next steps. And then trade-offs, you can even break that down further. Same with competitive advantage, right? What is that? That is your ability to create more profit, more revenue, reduce your costs, right? So then again, those can be broken down further. So in your head, there's clear double clicks, if you will, that you have it in your mind, right? Every time someone talks about strategy, you can click into it, right? It breaks down into two. And then you say, okay, let's look at these two things. Click into one of each. And you have such clarity in your thought. That's how you're going to be able to articulate yourself, not just with vocabulary, right? That is decorative. I'm getting worked up on this. What I'm trying to say is that empty buzzwords, the decorative adjectives, we don't need more of those. We need clarity in thought and in speech. So let's bring in that depth. Let's bring in the concepts, break them down. And I'm thinking of running a workshop on this topic. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And also, I talk about information density in this video that is also related. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.